Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Soul back at it again, and this time we are doing another Redstone review. So, basically this is for an application on OINKCRAFT for the Redstone rank. So as you can see, first we're going to be looking at the final product that I've made over here. We're going to be looking at the concepts. After that, we're going to be going through the tutorial on how to make it, which is the guide. And then finally, we're going to be going through the frequently asked questions, which I taught this design to one of my friends, and he tried to build it, and this is the questions he asked. So, this is just a pressure plate, by the way. So, if we pull these down, if we pull these four down, and as you can see, it opens amazingly. You can go and get whatever you want. One second, resource packs. And if you want to use my resource pack that I use in my redstone videos, it's called OINKCRAFT. And let me just put that on for a second. There we go. So yeah, you can come, you can get everything you want. You can go back and you can just head out. Alright, so time for the concepts. This uses 5 main concepts. Now, this is for some of these you could benefit from, and some of these are for like the complete beginners to redstone. So basically, this is how the first concept works, which is the lock that we used. Now, for this redstone tutorial, instead of you just copying me on how I build it, I want you to understand how it works, and that's why I've done this whole thing. So first we have our concept. So this is the lock, and basically it uses logic gates. Now logic gates, you don't need to get into it too much, but basically it's basically a lot of AND and NOT gates, and if all of the AND gates are on and all of these are off, then it will turn on. And basically how it works is the door is closed when the redstone output is on, right? So basically we need to turn off this redstone output. Now first of all, we can turn on all these lights. That is one of the things that is powering the redstone output. But now but we can't just put everything down, because I've seen a lot of things with that works. It has to be the exact code, because the ones that don't have the redstone lamps behind it has this. So now if the lever is down, it's powering this, and obviously you don't want that to happen. So this is a NOT gate that's powering 3 AND gates, and basically that's how it works. I hope that kind of makes sense. If you want a bigger lesson on logic gates, that's probably coming soon, and there's another proper fully done logic gate out in the frequently asked questions, which we'll get to in a bit. Next we have the double piston extender, which basically allows these 2 blocks to go all the way back in, but then it also allows the 2 to come straight into the middle. And the redstone extender I'm using is a observer one, which is where it's over here. So now this is a more simplified version. In that one I have connected the redstone, but this is basically what it is. It's a pulse coming from the side that the block is being pushed to, with a 1 tick pulse on top of the observer, and then another pulse to power the other one. And yeah, so that's basically how it works, and as you can see, it works as good when it's pulled back. Now one of my friends, he also asked me, but I thought I'd just explain it over here instead of putting a whole other column in the frequently asked questions. He asked me, why does this piston power first when the observer is first powering this one? Well, this is because after the 1 tick pulse, this one gets I believe redstone has like a really less game tick. It's a really small game tick for it to power. Like, I think it powers on and off before as you can see how fast it is. But the observer has another 1 tick pulse, and this is a 2 tick pulse. So basically after the lever is pulled, this one is opened after 2 ticks, while the observer adds another tick. This piston's powered after 3 ticks, so it's exactly a 1 tick pulse. And then the reason it retracts is because the observer sees a double first of all, this powers this one back, and as soon as it powers back, the observer once again notices it, so it powers this one, if that made some sort of sense. But yeah. Next we have the Redstone Elevation, which is as simple as the torch elevation technique, which allows this redstone to lead into this torch. This torch causes a block update, causes this torch to be hard powered, which leads into this torch, which either turns on and off this redstone torch. A very simple technique. Now we have bud powering. Now this is quite an interesting one, which I believe every beginner should know. And basically what it does is that although this redstone isn't connected to this, when I flick this lever, if we cause this piston a block update, it will extend. Now the reason that piston doors work, again, we need to cause another block update to undo. And now that sounds kind of annoying, but basically, if we have it like this, then this redstone is connected to this one, right? But now, and then this piston causes this piston a block update, which is the reason that the bud powering works so well. Now we have soft powered and hard powered blocks through block powering, and also this one is called bud powering. I said that. Now, basically, if we lead a redstone signal into a block, it can power all sides. It can also power this. Alright, no, that didn't work. So it can also power, let me just find some redstone mechanism. It's okay, let's just put like an oak door on top. Now it can power all of the redstone mechanisms on all four sides, which makes it really interesting to use. But now there's one more thing to notice. There's something called soft powering and hard powering. Now, a hard powered output is when the redstone signal can travel through the block, but a soft powered output is when it gets stuck in the block. Now you can either have the hard, if I'm leading it in like this, I still need to hard power it. So each like red substance, each appliance that can take a redstone output will make the block hard powered. So this redstone lamp, the piston, the repeater, and the door. But now, as you can see, if I replace this repeater with a normal redstone dust, it won't turn on because now it's soft powered from that side. Disclaimer, if you do want it to work, you can also have the repeater leading in. Now the problem with this is that it does cause a little bit of a delay, which is the reason you can use observers or something else too. Now to the guide. This might be getting a tiny bit confusing, and if it is, I'm so sorry, but hopefully you can bear with me. So now this is how you build the actual vault door. So in 6 easy steps. So the first step is just doing the bottom layer. So what you want to do, you want to have the piston elevated by one block, and behind it you want to have you can just copy this if you want. So you want to have a 2 block you want to have 2 blocks behind it, and redstone repeaters leading into each one. So each one is connected at the same time. And if you just flick this lever, as you can, oops, all right, yeah, that was just a bit of lag, as you can see. It's lagging a bit, but it's still working properly. Now if we whoa, that's not the second step. Now the second step is adding in the sides. Now this is quite easy. Get your yellow wool or yellow concrete, and have another redstone signal lead into an L shape, which leads into a block that's using the redstone elevation technique that we saw over there. And basically, again, this is soft powering this one. It's soft powering this block. The redstone block is soft powering this block, and this block is giving an output to this block, and this block is then bud powering this block, if that made any sense. And I did the same on the other side, and as we see, it still works. It's just a bit laggy. And if we pull back, and this part is the second part, called the sides. So you can just take a look at it for 1 second. Now we have our third part, which is called the double extender. This is probably the hardest and most confusing part, but it should work. So your one was like this. What I want you to do after this, you want to add the same kind of block below, and you can add it under if you want, just like that, and you want to add it above. Alright, so now what you want to do, you want to add the double extension right next to the first piston, which is over here. You want to add the double extension and put the middle block over there. Then this block, then we already have a hard power from this block. So we can use this block to lead out the redstone current. And remember, as I said, that the redstone current needs to be coming from the side that the double extension comes from. So yeah, we use it from that side. We have leading out to here with 1 tick pulse, one which is above the observer, again like it was, and then we have one that hard powers this block to power this block. As you can see, because this block is leading to this block, and this block again, it can take an output from all sides. So this block powers this redstone, which powers this block, and it allows it to work. And if we copy that on the same side, on the other side, we can have it. So it goes like this. And as you can see, that's pretty much nearly done. All we have is a connection for the last side, which is on top over there. So I'm gonna give you a bit of time to look through it. So we have the L leading here. From that, we have a redstone current going out over here in another kind of L shape, a bigger L shape with 1 block higher. We have a 1 tick pulse on both. One's just above the observer, which is above the second piston while it's closed, which is above the second piston when it's closed, and it has another 1 tick pulse leading into this block, which gives a pulse down to this block. Alright, next step. After all that, I'm happy to just show you that all you have to do is add the top layer, which is kind of obvious. Just add 4 blocks with pistons leading down, and just pretty much the same as you did on the bottom. I've also filled in the lapis like this to make it look a bit better. So all you have to do is connect this one, this pulse to this block, to the top blocks to both pulse. Then we have repeaters leading to each piston, so it works just like a charm, hopefully. There we go. As you can see, it works perfectly. It works perfectly, and now we have the redstone block. I already showcased this multiple times, so as you can see, it's just that whenever the redstone pulse is on, the door is closed. It stays on when the 4 are open. So if we flick down this, and this, it's just like that. So basically all you have to do to make this is have at least a 2 block high wall. Then we put levers on each part, levers on each block on the wall. We have our redstone torch over here where behind whichever levers we want to do it, and whichever blocks that don't have the redstone torch behind it, we have a block elevation, and then it's just a simple redstone line that's leading into the door. Now connecting it all together. So this is kind of easy. Basically, remember we put our lever over here to test it. We just have the redstone output with the repeaters leading into this simple quite small 4 block lock, and basically as you can see, it opens. Now obviously you want this at 4 levels, but that's not anything that I need to showcase. You can just elevate it with blocks, that don't really matter. And as you can see, it opens up, and then as soon as we get something wrong or reset it, it closes up. And the best thing about this lock is that it's so easy to change the passcode. All you have to do is switch out the lights and the blocks. Moving on to the frequently asked questions, and then we're nearly done. And also, before I would like you to send me a picture of your finished wall, see if you were able to do it, and maybe try to improve it to make it even more compact. And mine's already quite compact, so try to make it more compact. Maybe add 2 sides. And I forgot to say this, which I'm so sorry about. this the original design I learned ages ago. This was one of the first thing I learned from Mumbo Jumbo, and it has much more alterations which were made by me. So it's pretty much all my new design. I've kept alterizing it, and as you can see, it's probably much more compact than the one that I learned from Mumbo Jumbo. It has different it uses new observers. It uses the elevation technique. It uses it's completely different. It's maybe a bit faster, I don't know. I haven't seen that video in like ages. Next we go into the frequently asked questions. First question: why does my lock not function properly? Now there's not much to say. Just make sure that your your redstone torches are corresponding to the levers that need to be pulled down. And another thing that we need to move on to is actually on the next step, which is why does my door not function? Why does my door only have floor? Now you need to remember that redstone only has a signal of 15 blocks, which could be another reason of why your lock doesn't work. It might be a bit too long. So yeah, there's a bit of, actually no, there isn't, because it's coming to it. But on one side, you can only have, I'd say, a 13 to 14 long wall with the levers, because after that your redstone pulse would run out, and we don't have any space to add. And we don't have enough space to add redstone repeaters. So you have to remember that there's redstone only has a 15 block pulse. As you can see, both is on, but since this one does not have a repeater, which actually redos the whole pulse after a few blocks, so as this one has a repeater, it functions properly. But since this one doesn't, after this block, this is the 15th block, it stops. It doesn't light it up. So that's that. Next we go into our last one. Wait, no, sorry, this is our last one, which is probably another complicated one. And as I said, that on one wall can only have 13 blocks, but you can have it on both walls, which can very much increase the distance. Now I haven't done this on my lock, but you can easily implement it on yours. Basically, say that this is the this pulse is leading into your door. Okay, so what you need is a logic gate, which is AND gate combined with a NOT gate. So since the redstone output needs to be on only when needs to be off only when both of these are off, but that's not a proper logic gate. So but if we combine it with a NOT gate, we have it leading into a pulse, which basically turns it so when it's off, it's on. And basically, so now there's not much to understand in this, but now if both of these locks are on, that's when it offs, aka that's when the door has been opened. But as soon as you get one thing wrong on any side, or anything wrong on both sides, as you can see, it stays on all the other times. So basically, it's just an AND gate, which is a 3 block long surface, 2 redstone torches on top with a pulse leading into this. But the AND gate is combined with a NOT gate, which is just something we used in everyday redstone, where we have the pulse leading into the a NOT gate, which reverses the circuit. I hope that made sense. So maybe you can do this more compact, tweet me at it, and I hope I do get the redstone rank on OINKCRAFT. The IP will be in the description below if you want to come and check it out. It's an amazing server. Many cool people play on it. And yeah, so now I'm going to go on to editing this video, but for now I'm going to go straight into my wall. And also, by the way, you don't need to have a different block for the gate. I just used it for the simplicity of this video. And so you can walk in, and there we go. What a nice room. So thanks for watching. I hope you like it, and goodbye.